great! Hey friends, welcome back to Vincent Gigi's Super Channel G, and look what we have for you here today. We have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse action figures. They look so absolutely stunning. I can't tell you just how incredible they are. Obviously you can see a glimpse of how incredible they are, but we're gonna go ahead and get started. So let's see exactly who is in this set. So this is Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy, we have Peter B. Parker, Marvel's Prowler, the Hand Ninja, and Marvel's Frogman. And let me just say, this entire wave is pretty amazing. Absolutely outstanding. And I don't know if I already said this because I was so excited, but we definitely have at least 2 sets. And one that has a Repulse set was on the way. So I'm excited about that because then we can have Miles with and without the mask and so on. So let's go ahead and jump on in, get started, and let's take a look to see. Obviously, we want to unbox every single one of these, but I'm curious to see what the Stilt-Man will look like because, you know, I don't know. Let's see how those legs will hold up. It'd be nice to see if the upper part of his legs, like his thighs, would have looked more like, you know, more like a human would, but nonetheless, let's jump on in. So what do you say we go ahead and start off with Miles and see our action figures in that order? What do you say? Okay, awesome. Let's get started. All right, friends. So let's kick this off with Miles Morales. Looks really cool and definitely looks a little bit different than the one we opened that was a Target exclusive, I believe, from a while back. Because if you look, this face definitely looks a lot more like the animated movie. But I love that there's the full costume here, a suit I should say, and then here we have, you know, his jacket and the shorts over it, so that's really awesome. But we'll take a look at both of these, but let's start off with our brand new action figure that just dropped, and I've already seen this at Walmart, seen them at Target, seen them at GameStop, so I'm assuming Think Geek as well, and several of them dropped at all the Walmarts I went to, but then sold out quickly. So let's take a look at this incredible Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse action figure, and I love how we're going to be looking at 4 from this movie. And of course, the Build-A-Figure set makes Stilt-Man, and says 1 is right here. It's I guess this. I honestly don't know exactly what this is. It's like his back, the part that's on his shoulders, and almost like a cradle, like for his head, because his head would be on the 3rd action figure here, which is Peter B. Parker. So awesome artwork, and it looks like it's the same one that's back here, so it might be the same one 3 times with a mirror image on the side. And let's read what it says about Miles. It says, a Brooklyn native and just 13 years old, Miles Morales is a Spider-Man unlike any we've ever seen before. And this art looks incredible, and I can't wait to get him open. And as I mentioned before, we do have, let me see if I can get this right, if I can reach it. We did get 2. So let me just say that we did get 2 because I would like to have one with and without the mask. So let's get this bad boy open. And I thought one of them was gonna say with a GameStop sticker on the bottom, but we may have gotten both of them at Walmart. Just throwing that out there. Let's get them on out. Take a look at that. So here's our Build-A-Figure piece. I don't know how rugged it's built because it is definitely shifting a little bit, but maybe it's just because it's softer plastic. So there we go. I'll set that aside. Pop that back out. Let's get Miles out of here. And take a look at this. So, interesting side note. There is this mark on Miles' forehead, if you see right there. They were all like that. Look at that. So, unless I'm forgetting something that happened in the movie, because I definitely don't see that mark right here on this artwork, and I definitely don't remember him having just a scrape on the top, but all of the action figures that I saw at every Walmart and the one at GameStop, they all had this little blemish right there, so I thought that was interesting. So set them aside right here. And let's see which one has the better face. And the one that has the better face, this one looks like it might have a little bit right here to kind of sand down. So maybe this is the one that we use the swapped out head. But let's take a look at this. So I love the texture on the head, and overall, wow, it definitely moves a lot. Look at this. So let's see what sort of mobility we have. I would actually think his head would go back just a slight bit further. It definitely comes really far forward and tilts, so there's lots of expression that happens on this head. Look at that. So that's a lot more than I'm used to in a Marvel Legend. Look how this is actually 2 layers for this jacket right here. So we could definitely take both off, however, we'd still have these blue sleeves. So let's get even closer here. And let's see what his suit looks like underneath. Looks like we have a pretty gnarly ab crunch. Look at that. Which is great because this is a Spider-Man type action figure that needs a lot of potential articulation. Look at that. This is awesome. Okay, and looks like we don't turn necessarily at the waist, but we have a full-blown pivot here, joint. So that's cool. And the ab crunch right here. So we got definitely great articulation there. Looks like the arms spin all the way around, but it does not look like we have a butterfly joint there. So the arms go this far forward and this far back. And then bring his head back up there. Let's see, do we have single or double joints? We have a single joint at the elbow. However, look how far back it goes, because this is definitely more than a 90-degree angle, which would have been straight right here. So that's pretty awesome mobility here at the and articulation at the elbow to be more than 90 degrees. Let's see, this spins right here and goes back and forth. Same on this one, except this one is ready to fire off webs. And then it looks like we have hands to match that for either side. Let's see, the legs go, you know, pretty far out actually. Let's see if they come to 90-degree angle forward. Looks like they do not. They're actually restricted right here. And do they turn? They look like they may not at the upper part of the thigh, so that's interesting. We do have double joints at the knees. It does hit the long shorts we have here, right? And looks like we can pivot it pretty well though. Look at that. So that's good. And then we have good ankle joints, that point right here with the sneakers. Look at that. So I'm definitely liking that. So the sculpt looks awesome. Look at his belt, pockets. It's got this beautiful attention to detail. And then this, let's see. This hood looks like it might be glued to the other jacket, which is interesting because it's 2 pieces, but it is, but it isn't. So it looks like it is attached or glued here. Okay, so, and then the arms go about 90-degree angle out. So let's swap out the head by twisting and pulling. Wow, that's interesting. So this actually goes into there. That's unlike what we're used to seeing with Marvel Legends. And this head looks like it has to be pushed from the top out. Look at this. That's interesting. Definitely not used to that. I don't want to use a sharp object to take it out when I use a dull. Look at that. Well, that's definitely different for this. Let's see how hard or easy it is. No, it's fairly simple actually. Pop it in there, and then again, like, doesn't feel as fully secure as I would like it to, but still feels pretty good. Look at that. So, all right, because it doesn't really move at the neck. Okay, so set this aside. I'm actually going to put this one away in here. Why didn't it fit? Put this away right here for now. And let's see what sort of posing. Look, I already pinched myself just by going like this. So obviously be aware of that. So let me get just a simple pose. There we go. And let's get it to stand. So give me just 1 second, and I'll move this out of the way too. Okay, awesome. So we'll go ahead and just have him standing right here. And let me just say, his limbs are a little thin, and his ankles are a little small, and feet and so on. So he may need additional support when it comes time to pose him. So just keep that in mind. But nonetheless, does look great, and would probably look awesome with a stand if we were doing all sorts of other poses, like from the movie. And we can definitely draw inspiration from those. So Miles Morales looks awesome. And you know what? Why don't we open the other one real quick? So we've already seen what that would look like. Let's open the other one and put them right next to it. What do you say? Give me a second. Well, I was gonna try and be smooth and stop motion my way into putting the other Miles Morales up here, but it fell like that. Even though I wasn't stomping around like that, that's basically how it fell. And this is Miles. So let me see what I can do to pose him right there next to him, and then we'll move on to our next action figure. Give me a second. Okay, so I've made a very simple, strong pose that would contrast him over here, his action pose, and just kind of like marveling at his ability. But if you notice, this hand actually has straight fingers, and this one has it kind of curved in. And then although his leg doesn't move at the high part of the thigh, it actually moves here. Look at this, underneath where it comes out would be the pant leg. So let's just have him standing like that. We'll set him off to the side. And yeah, I also swapped out his hand, which just you twist and pull, but you want to hold here, twist and pull. All right, so let's set him up on over here. Oop. I don't want him to fall. And set him right up next to the other Miles. And since we're probably gonna have multiple action figures, let's go ahead and put them just like that for now. And then we have to move anybody, we will. All right, guys, let's move on. What do you say? All right, awesome. So next we have Gwen Stacy, and I'm sure you noticed, but this is Spider-Gwen, also known as Spider-Woman, also known as Ghost Spider. Also, it's a really awesome nicknames. And then look, we have Spider-Ham, Peter Porker. On this side, it has our awesome Spider-Ham. Over here, it has our Gwen Stacy, and that looks awesome. Obviously, this is alternate reality Spider-Man story, and look at Spider-Ham over here. Again, look who's in the set. And number 2, this actually comes with the upper chest and torso of Stilt-Man. There we go, and look at this beautiful artwork. It's this picture twice, and this one is not the exact same one as here. Love the art, and let's see what it, oh well, it has this beautiful Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse emblem right there. So let's see what it says about Gwen Stacy. It says, intelligent and quick-witted, Gwen has a sharp sense of humor and is a natural leader. Okay, short and sweet and to the point. So let's get this open. Make sure I don't cut myself. And let's get this. Why did it not? I don't know. I guess it was just stuck in there because it wasn't the tape. Let's try this one out. And check this out. Now, well, let's get our Stilt-Man Build-A-Figure piece out. Look at this. Kind of definitely a metallic, almost like T1000 style. Silver body. We'll set that off to the side. And let's take a look at this Spider-Ham right here. Look at that. Now, it's cool because it looks like the head pivots very well. And soft plastic for the ears, I guess so they don't break off, but definitely don't want to be messing with them too much. This does not move, the little snout. I love how it has the holes like his eyes. It's a spider symbol right there, yet it can be seen as maybe those are the holes for his nose, right? And the only part that I'm disappointed here is nothing else moves outside of look at his little coiled tail. outside of the head. So he's always going to be like in this pouting position, which I'm going to show are from 2018's Venom set, right? Here's this Spider-Ham, very different, and look, I love how the red's deeper on this one and the blue as well, but nonetheless, still really awesome. I would have loved to have had him. I'm assuming he has to be in proportion to them, otherwise it would be this size. But for his arms to move even just the slightest, even if they only had a single joint at the shoulder, that would have been nice. Or to turn him at the waist, because although we can't move the legs on Spider-Ham over here, this one doesn't move at all. So I think that might be a missed opportunity, but he does look overall great as like a little statuette, I guess. So let's see how well he stands. Stands really well. And let's take a look at this Gwen Stacy. And look at this absolutely outstanding head sculpt here for Gwen with her hoodie on, right? Now that being said, this Gwen Stacy looks a lot better on the face compared to the other one we have. This is the one we got at GameStop, and this one has a blemish or like a weird thing on the nose. It looks like hopefully it can just come off with maybe just scrubbing it. But clearly this is the one we'll be using with that head, and maybe we can spray paint this or airbrush the Spider-Ham to be more like a different color. Maybe even give him the black suit. That'd be really cool. Black suit Spider-Ham. So let's get her on out. And she also looks different from the Target exclusive action figure, because this one had a more traditional head sculpt right there, and that actually looks, the face looks a lot like Emma Stone actually. So this one looks a lot closer to the action figure, I'm sorry, to the character in the movie Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Definitely that haircut, which this one is definitely not. And you know, there's a brighter color pink than this darker one, and then the shoes are slightly closer. So we'll take a look at that when we finally open that one, but I wanted to definitely compare and contrast there. Body sculpt is definitely a little bit different, and this one again looks a lot closer to what she looks like in the movie, you know. And let's see the articulation, but we have the hands here that both have extended fingers, so maybe I'll swap those out instead of having two fists, or maybe, let me see, let's take a look. But either way, let's see the articulation first. I'll tell you what. And man, does she have outstanding head and neck articulation. Look, we can pivot, we can turn. Head goes this far back, this far down. This is outstanding. So I'm really excited that we have this style of head and neck than the Miles Morales one. This one's better. Moves smoothly all the way around. The arms actually go this far out, so that's awesome. We do not turn at the waist, but we turn the upper part of the body, like near the rib cage, and this is barely an ab crunch, so barely would consider that. We have a single joint at the elbow, but it comes in almost to a 45-degree angle, which is awesome. Look at the paint job right here on the inside of the webbing design, and look at these white stripes that are coming down like there, and they're like slashing in. Let's see, it turns at the upper part of the thigh. The legs almost go to a 90-degree angle. Let's see, we have great double joints at the knees. Now I'm not a fan of this right here, but it does have it because that would move the leg unnaturally. And the point and flex is pretty on point, and then feet pivot well, and the color scheme looks great. Now this did loosen up the knee a whole lot more. Look at that, because this one still like takes a little bit of effort, and this one kind of effortlessly like moves now. So hopefully that can stay pretty well. And let's go ahead and swap out the hands, I guess. Look at that. So we'll swap out the hands. Let's see. Just get this tape lifted for just a sec. Have that come out, and we'll put away these by twisting and pulling. twisting and pulling. Oof, look at that. Looks odd without it right now. Okay, set that aside. Let's go ahead and just support it right here, pinching this right here as I twist in. Look at that. This. Oh, my poor thumb. Rest in peace, thumb. So it's the knuckles that are really killing my thumbs here. All right, looks like it's in. But they pivot back and forth and they turn. So let's see. Maybe I'll have her with a standing strong pose, kind of like we have for Miles over here, going without the mask. So let's see. Let's set this aside. And give me a second. Let me see how I can just give her a simple strong pose, then we'll bring the other Gwen out. So let me see. Okay, this is actually a very simple pose so that she can be standing with Miles over here. I'll put it like this. There we go. Probably bring him forward just a bit. Let's put Spider Ham right here. Let's see. Ooh, I'm knocking everybody over. And they're probably all gonna fall. Ugh. Alright, give me a second before I knock everybody over. Okay. That looked a lot better than I thought. So I wanted to have both of them kind of looking at his hands because there's gonna be like an electrical charge coming out, or just happened. I thought they looked pretty good together. Look at that. Spider Ham. And let's get the other Gwen, Stacy out. Spider Gwen, Spider Woman. Let's get her out and set up right next to them. Give me a second. And as I told you a moment ago, that's this one right here. Okay? So, let's bust her on out. And set her right up next to the other Gwen and Miles. Okay, so much like that one, we swapped out the fists for web shooting hands. I also swapped out the head, the one with the hoodie. And let me say, because it comes like this, it actually restricts some of the mobility that was actually pretty awesome with the other Gwen. Just kind of bent the legs a little bit in an action pose and have it shooting out like that. And the legs actually don't come as far forward as I originally thought. That's something to note. And because we can't turn at the waist, we can only turn here. It actually doesn't ab crunch very far either. So those are both important things to note as far as I'm concerned. So look how great these all look so far. Look at that. But all right. What do you say we move on to our next action figure, right? We're already at 5 on here and technically 6 with just we're just opening 2 of the first of the 6, but having multiple. So all right, let's go ahead and move on, guys. What do you say? And so next we have Peter B. Parker, and Peter B. Parker looks pretty awesome. Again, I'm so excited that we have another head to be able to swap that out. Now, it's not a Spider-Man head, but I'm sure we'll still be excited to use a normal Spider-Man head. And look how great this looks. So, again, beautiful artwork. It is the same art 3 times though, with a mirror image right here. And so, let's see. Let's get him open. And I love that he comes with his little drink right there with a bendy straw. And before we get it open, let's see what it says about Peter B. Parker. It says, Peter Parker mentors Miles Morales, an all-new Spider-Man, to understand the importance of power and responsibility. Looks so great. And let's get this open. There we are. Slide them on out. There we go. All right. And set that aside. And look at that hand, man. Definitely wide open to hold this drink, I'm assuming. And look at those great Spider-Man hands. So we actually have 1, 2, 3 sets of hands. Let's pull out this Stilt-Man head. Let's see. Man, these are super soft and bendy. Let's set that aside. take a look at our Peter B. Parker. Pull my chair closer, and let's zoom down in to take a look. So look at this head sculpt. Let's look at both. Chin got stuck. And look at this. Looks pretty awesome. Zoom in closer, actually. I'm assuming it's supposed to look a little dirty on the face, right? Because if not, definitely need to wipe that part off. But I love the sculpt for it looking like his mask is off right here. Looks great. But it definitely doesn't have that scruff, that little bit of stubble right here. So that looks interesting like that. Love the head sculpt on this one right here. This head sculpt is outstanding. Love the way the hair looks. Love the way his little beard looks. So that looks awesome. He did an outstanding job. Let's see what sort of... Oof. I was going to move the head, and I don't know if I'm going to have to heat it up, but definitely don't want his neck to snap off. There we go. I was applying pressure down as I turn this because I don't want the neck to snap off. Look how it's neck's moving where it shouldn't be. So, but once I got it moving, it was really far down and really far back up. Look at that. That's awesome. Okay, let's see what it looks like here underneath his jacket, his trench coat style. Let's see. Does he move at the waist? He sure does. And he slightly crunches there. He also has an ab crunch to move right here, like right under the ribs. It looks like the jacket's kind of really keeping it from moving too much. The legs do not come. Oh yeah, they do. They do come to a 90-degree angle. Great. That makes me feel really good. Let's see. We have double joints here at the elbows, and they come to roughly a 45-degree angle. I couldn't move I can move this one, but not this other one. And I don't want to break it. So I might just have to leave it like that. I don't know what's wrong with this joint, but only this one's moving. So I am at this moment unable to bring that one in. If I try to just force it, it's not moving. I don't want to crack it off here. So let me see. And then it's hitting there when I'm trying to just force it down in. So we'll have to heat that up to move it. See, the wrists do turn. They go back and forth. Like that, and turn. And I'm sure we can just fit this drink right here. Let's see. Okay, great. That straw, that's what got me. Look at that. Put that right in here, and it actually fits amazingly. Look at that. We'll probably pin this on in. And okay, so it moves up here in the upper part above the bicep, and the arms, they spin around completely. Let's see how far back they actually go. They actually go pretty far back. Look at that. Clicking all the way with no butterfly joint. But otherwise, this still looks great. Look at that. Okay. So the sculpt looks great. The jacket looks great. The legs with the sweatpants looks really good. Moves to the upper part of the thigh. Let's see. Oh, I got a really tough joint here for the leg now too. Which, as long as it moves, tough's better than extra loose. So I can appreciate that. Same thing for this knee. It's really stiff on there. And then let's see. Wow, pivots here for whatever reason, and then turns in the weird how it moves there. But still, I love that it pivots well and points and flexes right here on the shoe. So that's good. So that looks awesome. And yeah, here's the other hands, and we have web shooting hands and then fists. So which one do we want here? Let's zoom out right here. And we also have another Peter B. Parker, so we can perhaps have the different head sculpt on there. So Let's take a look. Let's get him with a pose outside of just drinking this drink. So give me a second. And for some reason, I thought it'd be extremely humorous after all. And I was able to get this to bend forward, so I'm happy about that. Just to have him like bumming it with his 2 different shoes, with his jacket, just kind of leaned up against a wall, and drinking his little soda shake drink. So, did crack me up. I don't know if I'm gonna love it forever like that, because I definitely want to have more of an action pose. But digging it. So I can get the other Peter B. Parker out and see if I can get him more in a Spider-Man type pose. So let's see. Let me get that one. And where is it? It is right over. How did I lose it? Oh, it's right here. It's right next to me. Okay, let's get him open. Let's take a look. Let's see what we can do. All right, we'll put the other one away. Put this right in here. Oops. Give me a second, guys. Let's see what we can do here. Okay. I got him out right here. Let me actually see what happens if we put his arms back to slide off his jacket and see how that looks. And then, what if we swapped his arms out with another Spider-Man that maybe matches the color? Let's just try it. See how it goes. So obviously it's gonna look like this. See, I have Spider-Man arms that I may or may not be able to swap out. So, oh, and then we definitely have better mobility here. Okay, give me a second. All right, so this is gonna be more work than I thought it was gonna be. I was hoping it'd actually be kind of simple, but it proved to not be. My first instinct was retro Spider-Man, but that blue is red and blue is way too dark. And look at the web that is painted on him, so that didn't work. And so it's kind of the same for lots of these Spider-Man action figures. Probably the closer one. This one's not even close. But I'm like, this was the closest to matching the color, which is still not even dead on. But it also only has the web kind of like engraved in there. And maybe, but then these arms are so well put in there that I couldn't even pull those out. So might have to be a project for another day. Okay, so we'll set this aside. We'll have to do that for another day, unfortunately. And it's too bad. Would have liked to have been able to just pull this out, but it's so weak right here. I don't want to just pull the arm because that'll pop out. I can't really grip this, so, and if I have any sort of pliers or whatever, see, because look how weak this is, then it'll start marking this up, but it's still plastic. So I'll give it one try, and if not, we'll just move on. Alright, didn't work. Didn't work. But I am confident we'd be able to pull these arms out and be able to pop them in there. So, or just paint our own with a different Marvel Legends arms, but let's see. The head has this smaller ball joint to have that popped on, so I guess let me at least just swap out these heads. I could put a different Spider-Man head on him also. So that'll be a project for another day. Set that in there. This one right here. There we go. Despite the fact that he does not have any stubble going on there. Man, how come I can't get this to go in there? There we go. So, alright. Go ahead and put the jacket on and get him all set up. And as I put his jacket back on, I guess we can at least swap out the hands, right? So again, we'll go with these. Web shooting ones will always be better to me over just fists. There we go. Put that aside, put this here, and then put the tape over it. There we are. And there we are. I would love to either have another one that doesn't have the jacket on, or, you know, either way, we'll figure it out. Set this aside, and let's move on. Let me get him set up. Alright, cool. And I have him in a pretty awesome action pose right here. I don't know if the shoes and the legs are going to allow it because it's like so touchy right here, but let's see what happens if I just kind of put him along the wall. I think it actually looks pretty great. If I can just have him be able to stay. Look how great that looks. All right, awesome. Let's move on. We're halfway done, even though we technically opened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes already. So, all right, let's move on. And let's see. Next we have, sorry, let me get the camera here. Yeah, next we have Marvel's Prowler. And of course this was Miles' uncle. And this looks so outstanding. Love the way this looks. It's beautiful artwork. This is mirror image right here. And it is the same art back here, but the art looks just so great. It's outstanding. Of course, this was the one from GameStop. And let's go ahead and get this open. It's got a briefcase right there. Oop, dropping stuff over here. Sorry, guys. Alright, let's get it open. Let's take a look. Ooh, before I get too far, let's read what it says about Marvel's Prowler. It says, equipped with an armored suit and gadget-filled wrist gauntlets, Prowler pursues his enemies under the cover of darkness. That looks awesome. Looks so awesome. And I'm loving those gauntlets. There we go. And man, would I love for there to be a wave 2 after this. That'd be so awesome if there was Kingpin and there was, you know, maybe Tombstone, Doc Ock, right? Dr. Octopus, the female version. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head what her name was. Comment below what her name is, because I'm trying to remember. And let's see, who else would I want? Man, if they had some sort of massive Build-A-Figure for Green Goblin from that world, that would be unbelievable. So look, there's a fist for our Stilt-Man on this arm. Go ahead and set this off to the side, but we'll leave the fist there. Let's get a suitcase, briefcase. And it looks like it may. No, it isn't. Felt like it was gonna open, but I guess that's not a hinge. It just looks like it. But it makes all sorts of sounds, like. See? So I'm curious. If not, why is it making those sounds? I'm gonna try. Oh! Oh! Oh, it does open. It's not a hinge, it's just a plastic part that keeps it together. Look at that. Money. Alright, let me set this aside and let's get our Marvel's Prowler. Posing good, right? So, that's too bad it doesn't come with any other accessories, because I would love something like on the basic figure that had like fire blast coming out of the boots that you could stand him on. Or maybe a head we could swap out. I mean, we could swap out everybody else's head. Why not his? So, oh well. Would have been nice. Let's get on closer and take a look at the sculpt. This head sculpt looks absolutely amazing. Look at this. His cape right here. Looks like it might just be able to just be pulled over. But it looks outstanding. Soft plastic, look at that. Beautiful color. Let's see his ab crunch here. That looks awesome. It clicks as it moves right here at the shoulder. The only downside is the arm doesn't come straight down. Look, they remain out. So it's a little unfortunate, but nonetheless. And then his tricep hits his body so it has to force out. Let's see. We do have double joints at the elbows, so thank goodness for that, because we can bring it to almost a 45-degree angle. I'm loving these wrist gauntlets. Let's see, and his wrist does go, this one goes back and forth like this and turns, and this one goes the same. So not back and forth, but side to side, and then pivots. Let's see right here, we turn at the waist. We have this really cool looking utility belt. Can't keep that down. Let's see. Strong ab crunch, turns at the waist. Legs come to, a 45-degree angle, great. Look at the blue and the purple right here on the legs. We got a really tough knee joint. There we go on both of them. Turns at the high part of the thigh in case I didn't see that already. And let's see. Wow, it turns right here at the boot also. The boots look absolutely incredible. Man, that's a little too far for flex. But, E for effort. Those look great. The boots look absolutely amazing. Let me see. Unreal. And I guess this could fit right here. Can it fit in his hand? Or am I supposed to give it to Stilt-Man? Look at that. So, looks great. And you know what? Let's compare him. Let's compare him to our older Prowler action figure. And look, I love how this is an update for this old version. Everything about this one is better. We have very similar emblem, right? But it's more smashed up and squat. We do have different colors, but we do have wrist gauntlets. We do have what appear to be claws on the hands, right? And we have a more modern suit with the boots look more amazing. So this is such an awesome update to the comic style. Look at that. But definitely taking things away from the original. I'll set that aside. And let's get him posed. And I would love to have him flying, right? But for right now, I'm still a little disappointed we can't bring the arms further in, because look, the fact that they're sticking out. Maybe I'll just have him stand really tall so that he can be like really proud and of who he is, and checking to see what's happening to Miles. So give me a second. And you know what, before I do that, let me see how much can the head articulate. Pretty well. I almost forgot to look at that. Look at this beautiful head sculpt, looks great. That. I love how it's like where the ears would go, where the nose would be. So this definitely looks outstanding. Okay, now I'm trained. Okay, fairly simple pose, but an action pose where it's like defensive, getting ready to go on the offense. And let's set him up right over here. There we go. Look at that. So maybe we can move Peter just a little bit in a moment. I think that looks great. Man, that's a lot of action figures so far. Okay, definitely digging Prowler, but I would have liked accessories. Anything outside of just this briefcase with money. And that might be Stilt-Man's. Ooh. So because I'm unsure, that's why I'm saying Prowler could have definitely used some more accessories. Okay, so let me move Peter B. Parker just a smidge. And let's just set up Prowler just a bit. Look at that. Okay, cool. Let's move on. All right, in this set, we still have two more that we're gonna unbox. And one of them is the hand ninja, right? But let me say this. Watch this. I'm gonna set him aside right here. And then I'm gonna go. And it's gonna be like this. Not bad, huh? So we do have three. Why do we have three? Because this is the hand ninja. So that means he is part of the hand. The martial arts force known as, kind of like if you think about Ninja Turtles, copy them and they have the foot. Well, this is the hand. And so he's a ninja, part of that ninja assassin group known as the hand. So, I think I said hand way too many times already. Let's get this bad boy open. You can't have just one. You have to have them traveling in groups. So, you know, much like you would want several stormtroopers. So, I don't necessarily need an army. I don't need an army build, but you definitely need more than 2. So look at this beautiful artwork. I love how the eyes look green right there. Same art right here. Mirror image. Look at that. It's absolutely incredible. If you wanted to get a glimpse of that. So let's see what it says, and this is the same art right here. Everybody who's in this set, and 5 is the right leg. And let me just say this, or both legs. Excuse me. Because we have 3 of them, we can probably make extend his legs to be even longer by attaching them. Wouldn't that be something? All right, let's see what it says about the hand ninja. It says, skilled in martial arts and espionage, the ninjas of the hand are a force to be reckoned with. Absolutely. Let's get them open. We might end up opening all 3, because that would be awesome. Now, of course, they're not cheap, so man, look at that. It's Stilt-Man's legs, and it looks like we might just be able to pop those off, so not 100% sure, but we also have, is this supposed to help Stilt-Man stand? Because not 100% sure if this is supposed to be for Stilt-Man or for our hand ninja to have really dynamic poses, but I'm gonna assume it's for Stilt-Man. And then wow, these are crazy. I wonder if we can just, we sure can. And I'm wondering if we can just, looks like we sort of can. So anyway, that already answers my question though. Very cool. All right, we'll set that aside over here for Stilt-Man. Put this back over here. Let's get our hand ninja out. There we are. Let's get his weapons out. And let's get all of them. We'll leave these hands in there so that we can, maybe on the other ones. Set that aside. Let's get some, see what kind of posing we can do here after we take a look at the sculpt, and the sculpt looks amazing. Let me say that, if I haven't already said that. Look at his head sculpt. So clearly this is attached to here, and it's probably glued at the very top. It's probably like a triangle, I'm sorry, a rectangle groove that it's glued into if you wanted to remove it. So this looks so familiar, right? And then we have sheath right here that we can put the sword in. Right? Looks like it won't go that way. Looks like it goes this way. But you know what? The shape of that looks like it's supposed to go this way. So we'll go ahead and put the katana in here, which actually looks pretty gorgeous right there. So that's loose. The arms do rotate. Looks like pretty well. Looks like we do have a butterfly joint, even if it's a limited butterfly joint. At least it moves some, which not a whole lot. But it moves some. Let's see. We have double joints at the elbows. Does this move? No, it's painted on. Double joints at the elbows. Moves the high part of the bicep. Look at that. And then it turns right here, which is not quite an ab. Is this an ab crunch? I can't see under this belt because it's painted on, but looks like we do have something that does ab crunch medium and doesn't stay very well. Okay, the sculpt looks great. I'm digging the outfit, the legs so that they can come out. That's why there's slits right here. Let's see if the legs do come to what appears to be a 90-degree angle, but then they're forced back down by this. Let's see, it does turn the high part of the thigh. We do have double joints, big chunky double joints at the knees. Let's see, it turns here where his feet would be, and look, it's got feet like camel. And I'm digging those straps on those almost boot style right here for his feet, and they articulate well. So look at his hands, they go back and forth well, they turn, This is where we can put these weapons right here. And just slide them down in there. Look at that. Same thing for this. Because I wanted them to have weapons. That's why I don't. That's why I didn't swap the hands. So let's see. I have him holding this one upside down and moving his wrist like that. So he might not be able to hold it like that. And same thing with that sword because his hand isn't doing that movement. But we might still be able to. It just doesn't look the same, but that's okay. Because this would bend up like that. But in any event, well, I guess his wrist does sort of, since it goes like this, sort of does that, but it's not the same. So I'll go ahead and just move this back over. Extend these arms. There we go. And let me get him with a better action pose then. Give me a second. His legs are kind of popping back into place instead of staying where I'm moving them. So that's something definitely to note. Okay, so it doesn't hold the poses as great as I would like. It ends up pushing the feet and the legs back into where they were because of this. This is, we can, move it, but it's not as soft as it looks. And then the feet start pushing back. So that's a little unfortunate, but know the limitations of this action figure. So I'm gonna lean him up right here. And hopefully he'll stay actually. It looks cool there. So let me see. Maybe I'll open the other two right now and see how that works out. So already this looks outstanding though. Look at this. Wow. Okay. You know what? Let me go ahead and open the other two. What do you say? We'll put those right here. Alright, let's see. And as a quick reminder, we do have more stilt legs. Let's set those aside. We do have our stand right here. And let's get him out and let's only use this. Let's only use his katana. And let's see how this goes. Okay, so I went ahead and bent the arms in like this. We could be holding the sword with both hands, which actually looks really cool. I wanted to have the knee in like this, but the foot just doesn't bend far enough forward and the toes don't bend forward. So I couldn't have him like that. So the best I can do is have him standing like this, but this would require, like for example, us to have a stand, which it's not this one. This one's not because it's bigger. But which I'm sure I might be able to force it, but could get stuck. But nonetheless, this looks really cool. So I'm gonna set this like that, and the head articulation isn't as great as I would like it to be. So that's the only other bummer part because it's restricted right here. But nonetheless, this looks great. I'll set this up right over here. And I'm gonna have to change how this foot looks. Or perhaps have him holding it the other way, but still looks awesome. Uh-oh, everybody's falling. Alright, let me fix that. Okay, better. There we go. And let's get the other one open too. So, let's see. Wow, that looks awesome. Again, more stilts. So probably, since we have two sets, we can probably get one really tall and one normal size Stilt-Man. I don't know if we need this stand now. let's get him out. Alright, so I kind of like this pose after all. Even though it is difficult to pose him, I was like, alright, well, let's point his feet. See if we can get him more on a kneeling pose, and thought this would be a pretty mean looking pose right here, but it's not exactly what I wanted, but still looks good over here with them, and we can always work on that later. For right now, let's take a close look at all the action figures we have so far. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and we have a couple more. Well, technically one more in this set. Then Stilt-Man, and then if you want, maybe we can open that Spider-Man to Spider-Verse, the one from 2 years ago, Target exclusive. Alright, let's move on. Okay, so in this set, last but not least, we have Marvel's Frogman, and the color scheme looks great, and I like the way the hands look there. I was never a big fan of this laser ray looking gun. And then we have the other arm for Stilt-Man. I love the art. Same picture 3 times, that's the only unfortunate part. But it does look cool. And I'm loving this green, look how it just pops out. Looks like his stomach might be slightly lighter green than his chest. Just like that part of his leg is lighter than that part. So anyway, let's see what it says here. He is the other arm, the left arm of Stilt-Man, and it says Marvel's Frogman. Eugene Patilio suits up as Frogman in a misguided attempt to restore his family's good name. Wow, that doesn't sound like it's gonna go too well for him. However, let's get this open. Let's see how he actually looks. Now, obviously, this is not a Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse character, but it did flesh out the rest of our Build-A-Figure set. And as I mentioned before, it'd be nice to have more characters from the actual movie. But wow, check this out. I wasn't expecting that. And look at the way his hands open. Maybe we can give him the drink that Peter B. Parker is holding. And so, let's see. We have a fist right here for the face of this man, the Stilt-Man. We have his little laser ray right here. And then we have a fist and an open hand here, with a fist and an open hand here. So let's see what this looks like. Let's bring it in close. And I kind of like this frog head, and look at his eyes and his nose peeking out from there. So that's what this looks like. Turns, well, pivots kind of, and then only moves that far front and back. Arms move around smoothly. They click as they go about that far out. Oops, this one I'm going to have to really hold because, this one didn't want to move, and I definitely don't want to break it here. Okay, turns in above the bicep, and then of course the triceps hitting there, so as they move out. Let's see, we have a double joint that doesn't do a whole lot to bring it in slightly more than 90 degrees. The wrist goes back and forth, spins. These are soft fingers, look at that. He's got his belt right here, which I'm assuming is supposed to be there. Because this, wow, I guess this can be removed. It just pops into place right here, look at that. So, he's got his yellow underwear. And, let's see, legs go almost to 90-degree angle. The quote-unquote ab crunch actually moves pretty well, look. And turns there at the rib cage. And look how he's got like springs right here on his flipper feet, which probably go thwack, thwack, thwack when he walks. Let's see. And his legs bend that far in and out. And he's actually got pretty good mobility for these bigger legs. Let's see, the feet point and flex like this. And so it's interesting that his feet are going to look like that, and these are softer type plastic, but not extremely soft. And he's taller than I imagined for some reason. So let's see. That doesn't fit in there. And do we want him to have Does he even hold the gun? Oh, what am I thinking? This is for Stilt-Man. Sorry, you're probably shouting at home saying, Stilt-Man! That's for Stilt-Man. So, sorry buddies. Then that means we really don't have much accessories. At least we have other hands, but we can eat a fly or something. But I guess that's it for this one, because there's not a whole lot of crazy things I can do with this guy. We can get a slightly more dynamic pose, but that's gonna be about it then. So the sculpt is okay. I'm not like really super excited about this figure, but I am. I do like the way he looks overall, and he rounds out our set. So we'll put him right over here. He's over here by the hand, and wow, look at that! My goodness. So again, let's glance to see who all was in this actual set. Then we'll build Stilt-Man. Look at that. Wow. Look at that. Okay. Awesome. Let's move on to Stilt-Man. Jeez, look, we were able to barely get everybody in this shot. Okay, awesome. All right. So from this whole set, we do have Marvel's Stilt-Man. And while we did accumulate all these legs, we just need 2 of them. So get these 2 right here. We'll set these 4 aside, and let's go ahead and get all our pieces. There we are. And there's the head. Let's take a look at that. Looks awesome. Let's see if I can take a quick picture. Sorry, guys. All right. Let's go ahead and build our Stilt-Man. Should be fairly easy. It should be fairly straightforward too, right? I'll take a look at what he looks like. Pop this on. There we go. And be careful with these. Looks like I started bending them on accident. No, they'll straighten out because they're really soft plastic, but definitely don't want to ruin those. Pop this in here. Wow, that almost went in too easy. Pop this in here. There we go. And his joints are actually moving. Oh, almost. While I was saying it, that joint didn't move very well. So that looks great so far. I wish he would have, because that's way too thin for what he would be muscular like that with those thighs. So, well, in any event, let's pop this on right here. Let's see, do I just? Oh, no, I don't want to do that. So look, I almost made a huge, scary mistake. So I started twisting this, and that would have popped that out of there. Now, it could just pop it off the ball joint, but it could rip it out of the leg and then it not fit ever again. So let me just push down in like this. Let me hold it well like this and just push down in. There we go. You don't want to twist. This is one time you don't want to twist. Okay. Just put this over like this. And then you should have a hole right here in the back that just sits in. So let's see if I can just push that down. And there we go. And that's what he looks like. So I'll back it out in just a minute so you can view him from a distance. Come on, Stilt-Man. Don't you want your little laser ray? Of course, it's not a laser ray, but you get why I'm saying it, because that's what it looks like. And why is his hand not going all? Why is it not going all the way in? So let's see if I can open this up a little bit more. Why is his thumb down like that? Okay. See what I can do about this. I'm gonna spin it that way. And then why is his thumb still down like that? Alright, whatever. We're able to get it. It's kind of curvy for some reason. And you know what? Let's give him the money maybe. Put a suitcase in his hand. But okay, so wow, that head articulation. So good, it just pops right off. Okay, try not to squeeze these because it's so easy. Just Alright, so before the head pops off again, we can move his head back about that far. Turn it, and it is kind of stiff on there. Arms do click as they move, but they move around pretty well still. Arms move out beyond a 90-degree angle. Turns right here above the bicep. Metallic looking. We have double joints at the elbows, but doesn't look like they'll do a whole lot because it comes into maybe, if we're lucky, almost a 45-degree angle. They do move back and forth here at the wrist. This one does too, and then they spin. We do turn at the waist, so that's good. We have a really strong ab crunch. So, and then some super straight legs. So just be prepared for that. Super straight looking legs. There we go. And in order to stand him up, this is where we would need this. So you can turn this right here. Set that up. There we go. So let's see what you guys think. I'm gonna move him over here. I guess I can move our frogman forward. And there we go. So he's up there. What do you guys think? This is the complete set. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Marvel Legends, with 2 from Marvel Comics, straight out of Marvel Comics there, and of course our Stilt-Man. There's the Build-A-Figure, and we can go ahead and wrap it up here, or if you like, we can open this one, which technically we've already opened before. But we can revisit that so we can have this with the rest of it. So, what do you say we go ahead and open it? I'm excited about this one. Okay, so let me get us all set up, and we'll go ahead and open this last. Marvel Legend set, this exclusive 2-pack from Target that was hard to find 2 years ago, and probably impossible to find now, but hard to find at the store. So, and here we are. So, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. We have this Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen. And as I mentioned before, this came out 2 years ago. It does not have all the full updates from the movie, but it does have his the closest they did back then to his outfit. And it doesn't have like the webbing and so on, so it's not as current, but it looks pretty close. Same thing with this Spider-Gwen. We have kind of a darker color going on here. And then the old head sculpts. So you can see the head sculpt right there. I'll show you exactly what it looks like. We won't put those on since they're not so accurate. But we could potentially, with the extra head sculpts we have from here, use those for here if we so wanted to instead of those, which would be kind of cool. But let's see, the package looks great. Look at Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, look at Miles, and it's the same picture backwards, or mirror image, and the back looks so great that they just go so well with each other. See, this packaging absolutely matches, so that's why I like that it's in this can be counted on in this set, so to speak. So let's see what it says in the back. It says, carefully designed web shooting technology lets Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy defend their city against enemies with web slinging, wall crawling style. All right, awesome. Let's get this open. Set it on out. And so right now, as I mentioned before, we have taken a look at this before. So I have removed these and placed them back in. Let's go ahead and take these little webs out right here. Look, I'm not a super big fan of how these look, and when you put them on your action fig, but They do have some uses like hanging and so on, but either way, that's what goes right here. We do have Miles' lightning ability, right? So I'm going to show you what the head sculpts look like, and we'll probably leave them in here. There we are. Okay. So it's more like from the comic book. Same thing with this Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen. And this actually looks quite a lot like Emma Stone, honestly. And so we have this. That would be the hoodie if we took off this head and put this one with this one. So let's get Miles out. We'll leave these hands. And let's get Gwen out. And so she doesn't have any other accessories. So we'll go ahead and set this aside. And put this away. And I'm sorry, my hand's full here. And I'll probably, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. And let's take a look at this Miles. Let's go ahead and zoom on in. And this Miles looks pretty great. Now, the only thing is, it is a little bit basic on the head compared to what this one is. Look how there's texture. So, and then the styling is a little bit different. As I mentioned before, it's probably more of a reused body. And look at his shoes, which are obviously not sneakers. Otherwise, it's pretty good. But it would have been nice to have had this little detail right here. But of course, this is the most up-to-date one. So to kind of give you an idea of how they differ, I definitely wanted to show you that. So let's bring this up again. The emblem on the chest does look pretty good. And let me set him back over here. And let's show you the articulation. So this one has old-fashioned type head right here, right? Which I do like the way it moves. And it's a more natural movement. We have a clicking arm that turns all the way around. Again, with Spider-Man, anybody in the Spider-Man family would be nice to have butterfly joints right there. Moves in this high part of the bicep. We do have double joints that come pretty far in. Look at that. These wrists that go back and forth and around. And then we turn at the waist. And we have a really strong ab crunch. Look at that. It clicks. Obviously you can hear that. And the legs move really well. So we can bend these double joints right here at the knees. It has a shin joint right there. And then the feet should point and flex pretty well. Now again, he does not have sneakers, but I'll set him aside and we'll get him a pose in just a moment. Let's take a look at Spider-Gwen. And interesting that this isn't attached. So it looks cool, and then if we turn the head, might kind of be necessary, but it does look funky when we go like that. So keep that in mind. The head does move well. Look at that. Great articulation. And it doesn't restrict it like the other one, like our newer Gwen. And this kind of like dark maroonish versus the pink. Obviously I like the newer one better. The colors there, and then the colors on the eyes. This is more like spray painted with a thin outline. The body sculpt is a little bit different, and the paint is more glossy on this one. The shoes, you know, they're not too far off, but clearly they're just painted on, whereas opposed to these are actually like you can feel it raised. This is just paint on there, so there is a difference. And the back, pretty good. So let me put this one back over here. And oops, knocking everybody over. And by everybody, Spider-Ham. Okay, and let's look at this movement right here around the elbow. You can move the wrist back and forth. Same thing here. Again, we don't have tons of accessories, but the legs do not come all the way up to a 90-degree angle. It turns right here below the rib cage. Double joints in the legs, so we definitely That's good there, but the legs barely move here at the thigh and at the hips. And the shoes, they do move pretty well. So there are certain benefits for the mobility on this figure, and certain limits, I should say, that keep this from moving. So let's get a pose. Let's see what we got right here for both of them. Okay, so 2 quick poses. Let's just get her Spider-Gwen like this, so that we can kind of compare the body type and how they are slightly different. Look at how the newer one appears to be a little bit bigger. Look at that, and poses a little better. So that's cool. Wanted to give pretty much the same pose, so we can compare the two. And then for Miles, look, I was even able to wrap this electrical accessory right here for his power. Just kind of have him standing there and kind of like shocked at what's happening. Look at this. So this is simple. It's really just a wrap. So it's like this. See? And you just kind of wrap it on, and that's it. Look at that. And so you have this little electrical spider bites type deal going right there. You can just have it on the, put it on the thumb or whatever. Look at that. I'm kind of shocked it's happening. It's like, oh my. So, guys, what do you think? Let's go ahead and put our Gwen back over here. Let's see where we can find room for these bad boys right here. So give me a second. Okay, so take a look at this. Miles, Gwen, Peter Porker, Spider-Ham. We have Peter B. Parker. We have Miles, Peter B. Parker. We have Prowler, Hand Ninja. We have Frogman, Gwen, and we have Stilt-Man. And look how outstanding this looks. I'm super excited. You know what? We can probably build a second Stilt-Man with all these legs here. So at least twice as tall. But, or make that one 3 times as tall. You let us know. We can make another video about that coming up soon. But guys, I want to thank you for hanging out with us here today. If you've not already subscribed to our channel, please subscribe below. Hit the notification bell next to it so you get notified every time we have a new video come out. Talk to us in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know where in the world you're watching from. Give us a big thumbs up and check out our YouTube channel for more great videos like this. So, again, I'd love to hear from you in the comments, and we'll be talking to you soon. Let us know what you thought. Thanks again, guys, for watching Vince and Gigi's Super Channel G. Peace.